I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
What's going on, everybody? You're in the building with the all knowing, all loving, all feeling, all seeing, all powerful. Just damn all everything sexy as hell host. That is me. And if you don't think I'm sexy, I don't give a damn. I do. Joining me today for Politics of Being Black in America in the Politics of Being Black studios, we have a bevy of predetermined topics that we will cover. And at the end, I will take those who super chat, read your questions online, answer questions. We'll have a lively political discussion. But let's go ahead and get on into it, ladies and gentlemen. We are still in this war with Iran. There was supposed to be a ceasefire, but we all know that Trump is Taco Trump. Iran has said if America thinks they're going to ramrod their big penis boats through the strait, that they was going to shut that shit down. And last night it was reported that that's what happened. Trump has came out and vehemently denied it. But this is what he had to say to the American people who are already hurting, mind you, with gas prices. Take a listen at this.
This is next level gaslighting. Gas prices are a little high right now. Maybe that's because we're winning too much. But that's okay because real Americans know how to adapt. Patriots don't complain. They can serve. Here's some great, very smart tips. Keep your tires properly inflated. Big one, huge, saves a lot of gas. People don't realize. Drive steady, no crazy speeding like the lunatics. Smooth winds, always. Only drive downhill whenever possible. I've been saying this for years. Gravity is free energy. Nobody uses it like we should. Fill your tank at night so the gasoline is cooler and therefore more powerful. Science! Do your part, save gas. Don't be a liberal Democrat. This is some 2018 shit here.
I can't even laugh at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is one of the dumbest pieces of information and advice anyone can give. A complete gaslighting. And it's more of the bullshit you guys have learned from me on this channel is why I'm progressive and political. Society has taught us these damn narratives that we're supposed to believe when it was nothing but symbolism. Number one, does inflating your tires help with gas? Does having properly inflated tires help? Yes. But folks, if your skin is bleeding, does a Band-Aid help? Sure. But if that's a fucking laceration from the top of your thigh down to your ankle, does the Band-Aid really fix anything? Fuck no. Come on, Trump. Shut your dumb ass up. Inflate your tire. Bruh, this is a war we should not be in. You tore up the agreement Barack Obama had that wouldn't have messed up nothing with the straits. Gas prices probably would still be high because Republican policies merit that we don't move toward renewable energy. Republican policies merit that we stay on fossil fuels, which are running out. Republican policies merit keeping the people who run these oil companies fucking rich. And you have the audacity, Donald Trump, to tell the American people to do that same old bull jive Republicans be saying for you is bootstrap. There ain't no fucking Republican that put on bootstraps and believe it. Every Republican is doing steroids in some form or fashion to make money financially. And they're willing to tell the American people to do all this save money here, save money there. That shit does not work when you are bleeding the fuck out. It does not work. Give us something of substance. Come out and say right now, you are putting a cap on all the energy companies that they cannot raise gas no more. They got to bite the bullet. How about you, that same little speech you just told the American people, Trump, about they should, be a patriot. Tell that to the fucking corporations that can afford it. Be patriots. Don't let it stop at gas. Go tell Walmart the same thing. Hell, tell Walmart to become a 5 and below right now. You was just up there stumping that you could strike your pen and unemployment be done. Well, nobody believes that shit because only you believe your bull. Well, no, let me take that back. There are several people who are stuck in this Bible belt and this loop of Christianity that's fake Christianity that believe your shit. You was telling people you could strike your pen and unemployment would be done. We know that that's a lie, us progressives and folks with intelligence. But I digress. Strike your pen right now and tell every grocery mart, tell every oil company, tell the electric companies, this is the set price until we're done with this war that I got us in. Can you do that? Will you do that? Post your comments, folks, down below. Let me know what you think he'll be doing that. I can answer it for you. It's rhetorical, but I can't wait to see what MAGA has to say about that. Moving right along, people. Golly. The stuff we have to deal with in this country nowadays, folks, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Along the lines of other issues that are going on with why we are stuck with Trump. There was this creator that posted a video. I'm going to put her face up real quick. She posted a video about how she was stuck in the conundrum of voting for Republicans out of white pride and all this stuff. I am busy trying to dig up her information so that we can promote her and maybe have her on for an interview. But she learned what us Black people been knowing, which is what I'm teaching you guys to undo with societal programming. And she gave a wonderful video on what it's been like to come out of white Republican programming. Take a look at this and then we'll chop it up after she's done. Great job.
Chalk this up as things I didn't know as a Republican, probably by design, racism. In light of the Supreme Court's ruling this week, which essentially gutted the Voting Rights Act of 1965, I knew this had to be my next topic. Growing up white in the Midwest in the 70s and 80s in a Mormon Republican household and a mixed race community, I internalized some positive, but mostly problematic messages about race and racism. I heard my not Mormon grandpa use the N-word, but I knew instinctively, as children do, that that was wrong. I was taught that racism was bad, but also that racism was something America had overcome in the past. My parents had me watch the TV miniseries Roots, so I understood as much as a young white child could how wrong slavery was. But again, it was something that happened a long time ago, and whatever racism still existed was mostly taken care of by the civil rights movement. I had a kind elderly Black woman for a Sunday school teacher, and I remember how happy my parents were when our church reversed its ban on Black men receiving the priesthood. I had a few Black friends at school, and I myself would never use a racial slur, so I believed that meant I wasn't racist. But I also picked up Ronald Reagan's messaging about welfare queens and knew that usually meant Black women or girls. And because of that, I also believed that if the Black people in my community, many of whom lived in government housing, quote, below the hill, if they found themselves disadvantaged in any way, it wasn't because of racism or the long shadow of racist systems and policies in our country. It was because they didn't want to do the work required to lift themselves out of poverty. They wanted to live off the government, and that wasn't right because we had fixed racism, and they had the same opportunities everyone else had. And yes, I now understand this way of thinking is as racist as anything. I learned the basics about the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King at school, but again, it came with a message of we fixed it. I wasn't taught about redlining, which I now know is why so many Black people in my community still lived separate from the white communities on the Hill. I wasn't taught about the Tulsa Race Massacre, which happened when my grandparents were still alive, and similar events which were meant to prevent Black people from getting too financially prosperous. I didn't know about the 40-year Tuskegee experiment where Black men were essentially used as laboratory rats, something that only ended the year after I was born. And I also didn't learn about, or at least I didn't retain, the details of how Black people had been kept from freely exercising their right to vote for the 100 years between the end of the Civil War and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 through things like literacy tests, poll taxes, and grandfather clauses. This is why we need Black History Month, for the record. I now know just how many people were opposed to MLK and the civil rights movement, and how those same people and forces started working almost immediately after the civil rights era to undo what little progress was made. Why? Why else? Racism, one of the oldest, most universal sins in the book. And this week, Chief Justice Roberts saw a long-held goal of his come to fruition, the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. I spent my entire adult life in predominantly white communities in 4 different states as a privileged white Republican not impacted at all by racism. So sadly, it wasn't until George Floyd's murder that I started to really educate myself and changed parties as a result. If you're a Republican who didn't know these things before either, now you do.
shout out to that sister. She is invited to the cookout. How do I unpack everything we just said? Because this is kind of a point I had with one of my contemporaries, Larry, about there are really and truly white people who don't understand to this day, and Larry feels like they do, and I'm telling him they don't. So let's just start by saying this. There are a lot of Black people out there, men and women, who vehemently don't support Black people commingling with white people, especially white liberal women. Folks, this lady right now is one of our biggest allies. And from the inception of Black people coming here being slaves, white liberal women have been one of our biggest allies from the very beginning. Who do you think was getting into the ear of these slave men? Outside of the Black women they were sleeping with on the low, who do you think was actually getting into the heads of these slave-owning men? White liberals. Who do you think was getting into the head of people, white men who were in power that were on the fence about Black people having rights, Black people having families, and all that? White liberal women that was having children and having the Black nannies and becoming friends with these nannies and learning that they was fucking human beings. So stop trying to disavow white liberal women. We need them. They raise the bar for us in places we can't get to. Back to her. She talked about how a lot of everything that she learned was education that she should have gotten in school. Folks, that is by design. Because the greatest societies right now, they're not predominantly capitalism. They are highly social, meaning that they socialize the goods in their economy for the betterment of everybody, not just the rich. And when she got on the part about the welfare queens and them being stuck, not wanting to do better, I wish she would have mentioned how the real welfare queens are the corporations in America, the rich people in America that want you to feel and put that societal take into the bloodline so that people who are poor would never feel like they should be getting a handout. When these rich people know that the steroid of getting rich is a fucking handout, but they don't want nobody else to have the handout because they want to receive the handout themselves. And so all this time they've been vilifying the Black woman with the babies as the welfare queen. The real welfare queen is corporations, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Amazon, Google. You go down the line. It makes no sense. These people get millions of dollars to come into a neighborhood when they're already worth billions. When you've already had established mom and pop organizations who are barely making it, that can't even sniff panty draws that are laced with a quarter, let alone $1, but you're willing to give Amazon or Google or somebody else who's already worth billions and is being traded nationally. You're willing to give them money to come into a community. Stop it. That's socialism, people. And then she also mentioned that it took until the George Floyd movement for her to really start digging. This is where Democrats need to stop bull jiving. Democrats need to play the long game the way Republicans have done. Republicans have played the long game with education by taking stuff out because they know the average person is not teaching their kids this stuff at home. And when I say the average person, I'm not necessarily talking about the Black people. We're 13% of the community. Of the American population. I'm talking about the white families who are on the fence like this lady was. She wasn't inherently racist, but she kept voting for the party that is not fully understanding how they are racist. That's what I mean when I'm telling Larry, some of these people don't realize they're racist. That's what I mean. They don't realize they're voting for these policies that not only hurt us, but in essence is hurting them, because what Republicans have done is set up a great divide of having poor versus rich. But the way they keep the poor people, white people, at bay is by blaming any inequity, any problem in society on those Black minorities or on those Mexican minorities or on those women. And she didn't get any of that till George Floyd. And how do we get George Floyd? Cameras, video phones, everything showing what was going on. And people, the police department fucking lying and Trump fucking lying to us, to our face, about what we saw on camera. It took all that before this woman broke ground and broke bad. So Democrats, when you get the power back. The number one thing you've got to do outside of that Supreme Court is fixing the history books in this country. If kids are born not hating, kids are born not hating. Kids are born loving, wanting to learn. And if they knew the reckless, abandonment, strifeful nature of this country and how white men want to bury it because they are so afraid that they're going to have to share their damn wealth, people would make better voting decisions. So Democrats, I urge you, play the long game. Get up in there, be just like Trump, but be for the progressive movement. Fix the education book. I don't give a damn if the states try to tell you we're not going to, no, fuck them, make them do it. Because it used to be that Republicans wanted all this states' rights mess. Remember that? And now all of a sudden that Trump is in office, oh, the hell with the states' rights. Trump wanted us to go to Texas and find more congressional districts. Oh, Governor Hot Wheels Abbott took his Hot Wheels down the hill, signed that shit within 2 minutes. What happened to states' rights? They don't give a damn about no states' rights. They give a damn about power. They give a damn about controlling the money. They give a damn about helping people stay poor and be on the hamster wheel of capitalism that we need to break. So folks, post your comments about that creator. I will, for those that have seen her video, I will try to find her, bring her on, because she seems like she's lived a great life of experience, and she's probably going to several cookouts at this point, and I would love to see what else she has learned. Let me know what you think. Again, I will get to super chats and comments at the end of this video, but we've still got more stuff to go, and it just does not get worse. So they're having hearings for some more federal judges that Trump is trying to push through, folks. You can't make this stuff up. We legitimately have federal judges Trump is trying to put through who refuse to say Trump got his ass kicked by Biden. They refuse to do it. I mean, literally, if they open their mouth, they are so afraid Trump is going to skeet all up in their mouth, they will not say that Biden won the election. Don't believe me? Take a look at this.
Mr. Mark, if I might, just tell me about the 22nd Amendment. What does it provide?
The 22nd Amendment, Senator, my career has mostly been in criminal prosecution. I haven't had an opportunity to use that one specifically.
Anyone able to help on the 22nd Amendment to the United States Constitution?
Well, Senator, I believe it is the amendment that deals with a two-term limitation on
Correct.
service
It
of the
states
president.
no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Mr. Mark, is President Trump eligible to run for president again in 2028?
Senator, without considering all the facts and looking at everything, depending on what the situation is, this to me strikes as more of a hypothetical of something that could be.
It's not a
raised.
hypothetical. Has President Trump been elected president twice?
President Trump has been certified the president of the United States 2 times.
Is he eligible to run for a third term under our Constitution?
I would have to review the
All I need to tell
wording
you
of
is
it.
the language of the constitutional amendment that makes it clear that no, he is not eligible to run for a third term. Anybody else brave enough to say that the Constitution of the United States prevents President Trump from seeking a third term? Anybody willing to apply the Constitution by its plain language in the 22nd Amendment? Nobody. All right, let's move on.
It's sad, folks. It's so sad I have to laugh. These people legitimately are so afraid of Trump that they will not say that he cannot run for a third term. Either that or they are going to try to help him go for a third term. And what we have to fear as folks who claim to be patriots when they're really not, they've proven that they're not patriots. These people will bend precedent and law and break the law to have power. Look at what the Supreme Court did. Something that has been law with even more racist Supreme Court than what we have now, believe it or not, still stuck the precedent, still stuck the law. This group we got right now, they don't give a damn about none of that. They are willing to break that like a stick. And we have got to fight this to the hilt. We've got to remove these people from office because nobody's going to get a fair shake unless you are the buddy of somebody who has power. And it's sad that it's taking white people to have to deal with this now before it starts to take effect more, because black people have been dealing with this forever. It makes no sense to me that there are still men in jail who've had a dime bag of weed and are serving more time than these white collar con men who've conned people out of $2 or $3 million. They go serve, 2 years maybe, if that, and then they're right back on the street. Which one is a more harmful crime? Which one is more white? I'll tell you, the one that has white in its name, white collar crime. And so, folks, we've got a lot of work to do, and Democrats need to get in there, be a bull in a china shop, wield this power for the progressives. And when you make progressive policies, those policies are for the betterment of everybody. Those policies are not geared toward keeping the power at the 1% consolidated there. It's not. It might seem like it to them, but when you've been in a position of cushion and power and just getting what you want at the expense of everybody else, yeah, it's going to sting a little bit. But the expense of everybody else is what it is. It has been the expense of everybody else since the Reagan era. And it's time to bring the power back to the people. So post your comments, man. Let me know if y'all are afraid to say that Trump can't run again. And now, folks, we'll get back to our favorite trad wife in America, Erica Kurt. Just the other day, Joe Rogan said her eyes look demented. Now, I don't trust Joe Rogan because one minute he's bashing MAGA, the next minute he's sitting at the White House and shit. He's a grifter, 100%. But this debate was had on CNN. Very interesting. Take a look at this.
Erica Kirk has lived through. And if we had laws making you secure your weapon in the home, that shooting and Sandy Hook would not have happened. And I wish she would do something on behalf of gun victims and try to prevent future violence. But I have to be fair here. This is Turning Point USA. I go to their website. I don't see a single teaching of Jesus Christ. I don't see them fighting for anything in the Beatitudes or Matthew 25. I see dehumanization of immigrants, of LGBTQ folks. I see dehumanization of minorities, of professors. I see teachers called groomers. I see Democrats called America haters. This is what Turning Point USA sells. They are grievance merchants pretending to be a Christian organization while fighting for zero of the teachings of Christ.
Leave it there.
I laugh, people, because it's not just Turning Points USA. It is most of these white nationalist Christian organizations. Most of your faith-based organizations, Mormon, I don't give it, the Scientology, all of them are in place to control a sector of people, to make that sector of people do their bidding. And what has frustrated me so much are these people that run around here and claim they're about the Lord and Jesus Christ, when there is, honestly, if you want to be real about this, if people are really and truly of their faith, this is going to make some of y'all very upset. If real deal Americans, no matter what their religion is, it can be Hindu, it can be Christianity, it can be Southern Baptist Christianity, it can be Mormon, whatever it is, you shouldn't be voting for anybody, period, because nobody is going to uphold your religion to the top of its hill. No party. It's just not going to happen. And I get bothered that somehow or another, the Republican Party became the mascot for Christianity. What? What? The person who's head of your party has on camera said, grab him by the pussy. The person who's head of your party is in the Epstein files more than Jesus Christ is mentioned in the Bible. Folks, religion is used to placate you. Religion is used to steal your power. Religion is used so that somebody else can garner what they want from you and then be able to get you in this emotional state of feeling like there's some outside force working with them to guide you to a place. When folks, Whitney Houston said it best, find your strength in loving yourself. And if we need something to kind of have a doctrine for everybody to behave in outside of religion, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's pretty much in everybody's good book. But no, we can't have that, can we? We can't have that. Because the people who run these people who run these religious sects, they know that they can say things a certain way. They can Christian signal, they can Southern Baptist signal to get people to all of a sudden lay down their arms and fall in line and do what they tell them to do. And we've got to stop this shit. And they're also trying to get rid of education too and replace it with people's religion. Science is what's going to help save us on Earth. Now, what happens after that is up to somebody else. But on Earth, science is going to help get us there. And by replacing somebody's religion and getting rid of science and critical thinking, we're not helping the country. We're putting us behind. And that's why China is getting ahead. Post your comments. Let me know what you think. What do we got next? We've also got the roast of Kash Patel, but I'll save that for the end so we can end on a funny note. Let me show you this real quick. Somebody who's been grifting, who I used to have so much respect for. I used to love this dude, Stephen A. Smith, who back in the day seemed like he stood up for the rights of African Americans. He understood the plight that we was dealing with racism in America. And now that he's blown up and he's been made kind of the face of ESPN, he's that nigger. He's that nigger that know how to do the best tap dance for massa. Even though he's getting some things done or has gotten things done in the past, he has now come out and it seems like he's just went complete MAGA red pill. So Terrell Owens, who has always been at Stephen A., had this to say. Take a look at this.
And then I came across a comment from Terrell Owens himself. And the comment said this: "Man, shut your ass up, clown." And I was like, whoo.
That's my boy Charles Tabansky. You can go find him on YouTube. He puts out good work. So what was Terrell Owens hot with when it came to Stephen A. Smith? I'll show you guys. Buckle on in. This is about 2 minutes. Stephen A. Smith talking about him and politics, and then we'll finish breaking this shit down.
Do you think you covering politics like you cover politics, in the words of your mans, is that good for business, your business?
It has the potential not to be. We'll have to see. So far it is. I think I'm doing pretty good. So far it is, but it has the potential not to be. But here's the point. Cam, if I thought like that, I'd never be here. There's plenty of decisions over the years I could have made that would have been good for business. But I had the courage to tackle the issues that I felt passionate enough to attack. That's what makes me me.
Now, I like where you at. Because similar to you covering politics, it's almost similar for what does an athlete have the credentials to speak about other sports. For the record, why are you even speaking about politics? Like, what goes into the thought of like why from all your shows are your platforms. You have a show that's dedicated to politics.
Okay. So before I answer that question, let me close what I was saying by saying this. I said that not to discourage people to vote for Democrats or anything like that. What I'm saying is, if Cam wanted to buy this property, do you walk in, I'll give it to you, how much you want? Or do you investigate and find different spots and compare prices and see what better deal you're gonna get? Same thing if you're buying a car, same thing if you're buying a house. You're saying flatter me. Flatter me. What I'm saying I said it back then, flatter us. Stop thinking that you get to assume
Earn
that
our
you have
vote.
earn our vote. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And that's what I stand on to this very day.
Oh, Lord. So Stephen A went somewhere and told black people that one time everybody should vote Republican because he doesn't feel like black people giving their votes to Democrats have progressed the way we should. And folks, when you're having these type of discussions, especially with Republicans, you have to keep in mind they're not bright. You have to keep in mind that they don't critically think. You have to keep in mind that sound bites and 3-word sentences work for them. Things like make America great again. No substance behind it. How are you going to do it? What does it take to make America great? MAGA folks don't think that deeply. And Stephen A. Smith has picked up on the Fox News crowd can help make him money, so he can say stupid shit like that. But basically, he was trying to say that Democrats haven't done enough to bridge the gap in wealth with black people from where we've been. And you can't just make a blanket statement like that without fulfilling how do you do this? Because unless somebody is just going to straight come out and say, you know what? Black folks, you deserve 50 acres and a mule. You've been indebted this for years. I'm going to give it to you. It is hard to put policies in place that specifically favor black people and not other minorities. We've had some of that in place, and this Supreme Court has rolled it back because they think that racism is gone and it's not. They think racial injustice is gone and it's not. If any of these things were gone, black people's wealth would be equal to that of his white counterparts, and the shit is not that way. And I will agree that we haven't grown that much the way we want to see it happen. But you think that that shit was going to happen if we voted Republican? If we would have voted Republican when he wanted us to do it, we'd be sitting right where we're sitting at right now. Everything that was put in place for black people is getting rolled back. It just would have been done earlier. It would have been done under George Bush. Neither party has helped black people progress. And you really think that if we would have gave our vote to the party that supports the KKK and is okay with the KKK having a nonprofit, that was going to help us? Fuck no, get the hell out of here, Stephen A. Get the hell up out of here. We need the Democratic Party, now that you white folks in the Democratic Party have seen just how much these fake-ass patriots, these fake-ass people that claim they love the military, these fake-ass budget hawks really are fakers. You need to come on over here and support every fucking initiative that can help minorities, especially black people. You ain't got to give us 40 acres and a mule. How about say we don't pay no more income taxes the rest of our life? Okay, and if you think that's too much, how about say everybody that's black can go to school for free, and those that don't want to go to school, you'll give us XYZ dollars equivalent to schooling to start a business. You willing to do that? That'll help bridge a damn gap. You got the balls to do that? Because it seems to me every single thing Trump wants, they give him money for it. Like right now, the Republicans, white Republicans who normally, anytime there needs to be money spent for the people, healthcare, childcare, education, and that's just the basis. We need more than that. We need initiatives to cap this fucking gas price. But they're willing to give Trump $1 billion. They're trying to pass a bill right now to give Trump $1 billion for that ballroom. That ballroom helps Americans across America how? You would be better served giving that $1 billion to every single family who's not making $200,000 gas relief. Or if you don't want to put it into the hands of the people, maybe put it into the hands of the folks that own gas stations so that they can have free gas days or something like that. But that would be helping the American people too much, right? And if you help the American people too much, guess what? They keep coming back. Democrats, when are you going to learn that shit? I forgot what president said it, but he said if you give people stuff, they're going to vote for it. Duh. Why do you think these rich assholes keep voting for Republicans? Because they keep getting their taxes cut. Why do you think these rich assholes keep voting Republican? Because Republicans give them money up front, which is another form of socialism that the people who have the most don't need it the most. Come on, y'all. And Stephen A. Smith is placating the same problem and is trying to act like he's not. He's fucking grifting. He's realized it's easier to make money off people who have 8th grade educations than it is people who critically think, who are going to question you, who are going to critique you, who are going to challenge you. So, folks, post your comments. Let me know what you think. It just makes me so mad. Education Democrats, get back to education. And we will end this video on a funny note. The MAGA regime used to always talk about how Democrats want to silence people. But again, they would never say why or how. We wanted to silence people that was running their mouth, calling folks racist, illicit names. Nappy head hoes talking about black women. Or what was the one they was calling black men back during the George Floyd? They had a name for us then too. Trump posting pictures of Barack and Michelle Obama as baboons. Your ass needs to be silenced. You know what you're doing. But the minute somebody comes out and roasts them, they can't take it. Look at what SNL did the other day with Cash Cockeyed Patel.
You guys should not be reporting the lies and the gossip. You should be reporting on the historic nature of my appointment. I'm a trailblazer. I'm the first Indian person to suck at their job. Everyone says Indian people are smart, hardworking, incredibly intelligent. I've proved without a shadow of a doubt that we can be just as incapable and incompetent as the whites.
Oh my goodness, man. You know what? White people always have someone who wants to assimilate when they come to this country and be white, because white is the power structure here. And Cash Cockeyed Patel is no different. Now, you know, he's got this little girlfriend who's supposed to be a country music singer, and she got a side piece and she got busted the other day. And the only reason she's messing with him right now is because he's got the money, he's got the power, he's got the president. The minute he has none of that, let's see where he lives then, ladies and gentlemen. That shit was funny. And the stereotyping that he was discussing is one that most people have here, because they look at people of Indian descent that come from the country India, not Native Americans. And they always seem to be smart running Google, or they own the taxis. They figured out how to make money. They've done all that stuff. And nobody ever seems to pick on them about how they only do that and they always want to assimilate to white folks. Not the good white folks, not the white folks we can bring to the cookout that fight for the betterment of everybody. They want to assume to the Republican style white folks, you know, the kind that secretly will have sex with a black woman, pull her panty drawers out the way and stick something in them, but won't say it out loud. Them type of white folks. That's the kind they want to ascend to being. And so, folks, let me know if you thought that was funny. That shit was funny to me. And MAGA could not take one iota of it. And so, folks, this is day number 2. I'm keeping these live streams going. Hopefully, they'll start growing. I might go back to doing them at nighttime. I think that usually there are more people up watching them at night, but sometimes that doesn't fit my schedule. And so I want to keep this stuff going and finding the stories that sometimes get missed. And I will continue to do so as long as you guys will keep sharing me. In the future, if you want to get your comments up here in red, please super chat me. I will read some today real quick before I get out of here. What's up, Antonio? What's up, Swim? Let's see here. Uplift said he's trying to get $10 billion for himself. Yeah, folks, if you didn't know, Trump is trying to sue the IRS, and he's got the puppets in place probably to get the money. Another thing Democrats have got to do when they get the power back, when they get House, Senate, and president, you're going to have to go back and sue and throw in jail all these people that think they're going to be able to get away with what they've done to this country and not pay no penance. What good is pretending we have a justice system if you're not going to use it, Democrats? I don't know how to say this enough to the Democrats. We're in this mess because you tried to play nice. You gave the American people more credit than what they're worthy of. When Hillary Clinton said we have a bag of deplorables, she was absolutely right. We know right from wrong. And the right policies are those that allow people to live their life without trampling on someone else. And right now, Republicans are trampling on people with their religious bull jive, with their socialism bull jive. Yes, people, socialism does go toward the rich. It ain't just something, it's not just some societal narrative that white people put in place that you should associate with poor people. Socialism in its biggest form is being done every single day by the rich class so that the middle class and poor don't get nothing. And we need Democrats that are going to have the guts to get their asses up in there and flip that shit on his head. So folks, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, get yourself a life game. Keep checking me out on the shorts. I will have more shorts coming up the rest of the day. And until that next Sex is Hell video, I'm out.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.